Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is Force. Welcome back. Here today, we're going to talk a little bit about Overwatch. You know, the beta, which has been going on for about a month now, is going to be closing up shop for over a month very shortly. In fact, tomorrow is the final day which current beta testers get to play the game. And just prior to this happening, a video update was released with Jeff Kaplan, the game director of Overwatch, talking about some of the popular community topics. And he touches on a few of the things that have been discussed in various community websites and even among players in the game while I'm playing over the past few weeks. And I basically want to touch on what he talks about and give some of my opinions and thoughts as someone who's basically played the game every day since this beta has begun. So first and foremost, I think the biggest news is the fact that all future heroes and maps will be free. And this conversation hasn't been happening a lot recently. This was mostly back when they announced the pricing model, which is going to be $40 or $60 on PC, and then a flat $60 on console. So basically, everyone was concerned, all right, so this game isn't going to be free to play. Many of us thought it might be. The justification for that thought, I guess, wasn't much beyond the fact that Hearthstone was free to play, and similar shooters are free to play or very low cost. You look at like CSGO or, of course, TF2, and everyone assumed, all right, they're just going to take that exact model and copy it. Well, Blizzard's deciding they're looking for a bit more of a cut up front, and everyone was concerned, well, what does this mean going forward when you add additional maps, when you add additional game modes, when you add possibly additional heroes? Are we going to get charged for them? And they had originally what they said actually was, we've got no plans to add future heroes. Well, looks like they've backed off on that statement and just come out and said, you know what, when we add future heroes and maps, it's just going to be added as free content. And basically saying that, hey, well, we're going to get our money somewhere. It's probably going to be through skins and things like that. So we already know character skins are going to be in the game. That was revealed with the specialty package or whatever the hell you could buy. The $60 version is basically going to give you skins. So we know it's going to happen, and that's clearly where they're going to make their money. But if they do add future heroes and maps, those are all going to be absolutely free to player base. And this is fantastic on multiple levels. Number one, it's great because this means that, hey, when we spend that $60, we're going to get the content of this game perpetually, no additional cost. And what it also means is it doesn't fragment the player base. And this is something that multiplayer games have been dealing with for very long now. The idea that if you release these content updates that cost money, the portion of the player base that doesn't purchase them doesn't get to participate in that. And as such, you're splitting up your player base. And that's, of course, not the greatest thing, you know? So this is good. This is all good. There's really nothing bad to say about this. There's not much in the way of opinions. Free heroes and maps, fantastic. He went on to talk about some other important things that I want to mention. Number one is the kill feed option. So right now there's no kill feed in the game beyond showing if a character that you were shooting and that you damaged has died, but it doesn't tell you what that character's hero was. It just tells you their name and a percentage of damage done. Without an actual kill feed to show what hero died and who is the player who killed it, you're left in these really sort of ambiguous situations where, say I'm playing as Junkrat and I'm launching a bunch of grenades down the middle lane where the whole enemy team is coming, and I hit a couple of them. And then all of a sudden a Tracer shows up behind me and I launch a couple grenades at her and it hits her, but she goes away and out of my line of sight. And then all of a sudden I see a name pop up in my kill feed and it says a player has died, but I don't know which one it was. Was it the Tracer that I was just attacking? I didn't get to check out that character's name, and especially since heroes can be swapped so readily, you might know the name of a player on the opposing team, but you might not know what character they're playing at the moment. You saw a Tracer, you don't know which player was playing that Tracer, you damaged them. Is it the Tracer behind you that died, or one of the random people in the middle of the lane, 100 yards away that you managed to hit? Is it one of them who died? So you're left in these very strange situations where you're actually not sure what character it is that you killed within the window of 15 seconds or however long it counts your damage participation towards the kill. So it is a strange situation. What you end up having to do right now in the game is hold down tab and it covers your entire frickin' screen, so you basically can't see anything or play, and then you get to see, all right, which one of the enemy characters is dead. Okay, that's the person. Like, it's very awkward, it's very clumsy. If they just add a kill feed, let's just say to the upper right corner of the screen, and they have like the hero portrait plus player name killed hero portrait plus player name, that'll be more than enough, you know. And then you wonder, well, that means it's giving final credit for a kill as opposed to showing partial credit. You still get the elimination count. You might just not get all the final blows, and I'm assuming if final blows is what's going to show up in the kill feed. I don't know, maybe they'll show everyone who participated in the kills, but that seems like it'd be adding a bit too much clutter. So he said that they have no philosophical opposition to this. They just haven't added it yet, but it is coming, so we are going to get a kill feed. Also talking about the kills and participation in the game, he talked a little bit about the end of card system and how it could use a lot of work. They like it more or less the way it is right now, but they want to be adding things like objective scores to show players who, were standing on the payload, but maybe they weren't out there getting all the kills, but they're still helping their team because they're the only ones standing on the payload pushing it while the rest of the idiots are running forward just trying to rack up their kill score. He wants to show, they want to show that people are contributing even if they're not just getting the most headshots essentially, or the highest percentage of shots hit or whatever. So they like the card system, but they are going to be making some changes to it. I think this is something that I agree with as well. The card system right now can be, it just could use some work, I guess. That's just really all I want to say, and I'm glad they're going to be doing it. And then the final big thing that he touched on that a lot of the community has been talking about recently is the noticeable lack of a traditional scoreboard where you can see your kills, your assists, and your deaths, as well as that of your team or the opposing team. This game doesn't have it. This game will show you, again, when you hold down tab, you get to see who's alive, who's dead on either team, who's on fire, who's not, and then how you're doing, your percentage of hit shots, your amount of uptime on your special abilities or whatever. Information like that, the number of hooks that you hit, whatever. But you don't get to see that of your allies or of your enemies. And that's the case with many multiplayer shooters. You can direct compare yourself to your teammates and the people you're playing against. Well, they said that they don't plan to change that anytime soon. And I guess this really goes along with the general Blizzard philosophy. You take a look at the past few titles they've released. You've got Hearthstone, a competitive card game where you can't even talk to the opposing player except for the option of a few emotes. And even Heroes of the Storm, a game that does have a scoreboard, really downplays the deaths that you've had, and they try to upplay your just participation in team things. But they even decided to go with the scoreboard system for that game. Well, Blizzard is taking it a step further here and making it so that you can't compare yourself, really, except for the on fire system. Let's be honest, at the moment, it's not great. I mean, you get on fire. I can be playing Mercy and just be holding down left mouse button on a bunch of people for couple of minutes and I'll be on fire, but it's not like I've done anything particularly interesting or special other than staying alive, which truthfully that's the biggest, most skillful thing you can do as Mercy, because the longer you stay alive, the better your ultimate's going to be when your teammates die, and obviously the more consistent healing and damage boosting you're going to be doing. But the point is, I may not be doing anything special, but I'll be on fire, and it's just a strange way to say, hey, these are the people who are doing good, these are the people who are doing bad, and not actually get to see, this guy's on 10-0 right now. This guy we're fighting against has a 10-player kill streak. He's wrecking house. Why don't we focus on him? It doesn't really have that. Again, besides the on fire, but it's strange that they're deciding with this game in particular not to have a traditional scoreboard, where they have a more or less traditional scoreboard with a similar release, Heroes of the Storm, but maybe they're just not happy with how that's made the player base turn out, the community or whatever, and they want to try something completely different and just scrap a traditional scoreboard altogether. It's not here, and it doesn't look like it's coming either. Now, they did say they're going to make some changes to the on-fire system because they agree with what I just said, and that at the moment, it needs some refinement. It needs a little bit of work because it's really not all that useful, frankly. And then the final thing of note was he talked about some people being frustrated with the Killcam system, and that's the idea that after you die, you get to see who and what killed you, how it happened, and he says that there's a lot of the player base that doesn't want to watch it. You can hit escape to exit it, but I'm interested by these statements mainly because why would anyone not want to watch it? It's incredibly valuable information. You get to see who killed you, how it happened, and a lot of times, you get to see if they have their ultimate. You get to see if it's a Symmetra who killed you, where her teleporter is. Like, this is all very useful stuff. I would say that the frustration with the Killcam system mostly comes from situations in which you die where you think you probably shouldn't have died. We're going back to the idea of rounding corners and getting shot through those walls. This latency compensation that ends up resulting in my client showing me in a safe position, the person who's shooting at me's client showing me as in an open position, and then them killing me. The only time I've ever wanted to spam escape that kill cam is when I know I've clearly rounded a corner, broke line of sight, and my face got blown off. That's where the frustration comes from. So I don't know. I wonder if Jeff and crew are thinking that people are frustrated with the kill cam system just because they don't want to see how they get killed, or because they know they shouldn't have gotten killed. I'm saying from personal experience, those are the times where I've been like, fuck this kill cam. I don't want to see it because I was fine. But anyways, that's the thing. I wanted to again share my thoughts and talk with you a little bit about what they discussed. Now, this is all happening right before the beta is going to be going down for over a month and a half. So there's not going to be too much more Overwatch discussion here on this channel, but I do still have quite a bit of gameplay. You know, since I started streaming the game over a month ago, I've recorded everything. I literally have weeks worth of footage that I'm going to be able to sort of slowly disseminate over over this next upcoming month. So there will still be some Overwatch content, just less than there has been so far. You know, I'm loving this game. I can't wait till the servers get back up and kicking sometime in mid to late January, and I'm going to be right back at it because I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the content here that I provide for Overwatch as well. If you do, you hit that sub button or whatever. I have not asked people to hit the sub button in Neon, so why should I start now? Get it. If you like it, whatever. If you don't, just see it later. Thanks for watching, guys. More Overwatch coming up in the future. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Ridiculous.